Okay, so Flutter is an SDK by Google. They made that very explicit on the documentation. Yeah, it's a SDK that helps create native applications on Android, iOS, web. Currently, Windows, Linux, and Macintosh is in the dev channels, so you can use it, but they're not too stable. Wrong slide. There we go. So Dart came out in 2011. Flutter then came out in 2017. Then Flutter 1.0 came out in 2018 with full Android and iOS support. And this year, I believe it was in March, then full web support came out for Flutter. So that was a big deal. And they are planning on getting the Windows, Linux, and Mac OS up and running. I believe they're planning on getting Windows up and running first, since Microsoft is helping them a bit on that. But yeah, then there are multiple ways of installing the SDK on your device. You can either go to their website and download the SDK file straight from there. And yeah, then also you can get the Flutter repository from Git, which will give you more updates faster because you don't have to constantly download the new SDK. Yeah, there's also a few commands you need to run to just get it properly set up. So you would first find, just double check where you put the files with where Flutter Dart, which will tell you where both Flutter and the Dart bins are. Then in your window, this is specifically for Windows. So you would set a environment variable in the path for the Flutter bin path. And then you would just run Flutter Doctor, which would tell you if there's anything wrong with your install or you require any licenses or other applications. And then after you've done that, you can open Flutter in Visual Studio Code, Android Studio, IntelliJ, or even the command line. I will be using Visual Studio Code. And for Visual Studio Code, both the IntelliJ IDEs, which are Android Studio and IntelliJ IDEA, you would just need to install the Dart and Flutter plugins. And once you've done that, you can just create your Flutter project. Okay, so I'm also gonna just make a quick little program. I don't know how quickly. So let's run. As you can see, this is the location of my Flutter bins. So I want to cd into that. So now it's checking that everything's up to date and everything is working properly. Once that's done, I already have the Flutter plugins installed for my IDE. I just go create the project. I want to do it in this folder, and I'll keep the name. There we go. Okay, don't know why it's complaining now. Okay, there we go. Now I've created the project. So this is your structure. As you can see, there's iOS files, Android files, and web files. These are all natively written. So if I continue going in, you'll see there's Java plugins here. There's a manifest. For iOS, there would be all of their runners and Swift code and everything. For web, it compiles it to an index with some JavaScript once we get more logic in. But yeah. You also have this boilerplate application, which is it just has a little button where you can click and it updates a little text. So this is, can remove all of this. Can also remove that. Okay, so I want to make a scaffold. Scaffolds are like one of the main building blocks for a page. It has a body. It also has an app bar and all of those fancy stuff. Then I want to add a list view, a list view builder, which will then have this little, basically it loops through an amount of items. We have a list tile. Flutter also works off a widget system. So each of these sections would be a widget on their own, and widgets can contain other widgets. So to run your application, you should just be able to run Flutter run. I see it does not like me today. Did that get it going? Yeah, okay. So now we're just waiting for, by default, it will start it in the web as the web version, since I don't have any emulators for Android or iOS on this device. So as you can see, we won't have anything on screen because the list view is looking for how many items it should load. Flutter also supports a hot reload feature. I'm just not too sure where I do it from here. Since I normally use the CMD for that. There we go. So yeah, it loaded the item. It's loading way too many, but yeah, you can also create different classes. Then it goes to do item. So in Flutter and Dart, you don't need to put the braces there and then say this.text equals whatever. You can just put the this.text in your constructor parameters. And then we want a list of to-do item. So do that. Then on the initialize of the so we want to convert this widget to a stateful widget, which will remember its state. And then I want to say to-dos. Do item. I'll do that a few times. Then over here, I'll add the to-dos length. Add the index. Flutter won't convert types for you automatically, like it won't convert integers to strings. You have to do that yourself. There we go. We got a few items in our list. I'm not too sure if I'll have enough time to continue with the little application I wanted to make, but this is the basics of Flutter and Dot.